ਸਤਨਾਮ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ। ਗੋਬਿੰਦੇ ਮੁਕੰਦੇ ਉਦਾਰੇ ਅਪਾਰੇ, ਹਰਿਯੰ ਕਰਿਯੰ ਨਿਰਨਾਮੇ ਅਕਾਮੇ। ਗੋਬਿੰਦੇ ਮੁਕੰਦੇ ਉਦਾਰੇ ਅਪਾਰੇ, ਹਰਿਯੰ ਕਰਿਯੰ ਨਿਰਨਾਮੇ ਅਕਾਮੇ। ਗੋਬਿੰਦੇ ਮੁਕੰਦੇ ਉਦਾਰੇ ਅਪਾਰੇ, ਹਰਿਯੰ ਕਰਿਯੰ ਨਿਰਨਾਮੇ ਅਕਾਮੇ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਸ੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ, due to his apar kirpa, we are about to commence Adhyay 8 of Vichar Mala. So previously Maharaj discussed about the experience of Brahma Gyan, that what is the experimental, the one when someone experiences Brahma Gyan, what are the qualities of that? So Maharaj in this Adhyay says, here Maharaj says to Sikh that Anubhav Amrit Sikh ke Uday Payo Chit Chain. What it means, Maharaj saying is to his Sikh, that Sikh, that in your Hirday, you have understood that Brahma, you have experienced that within yourself. And what has happened because of that? You have attained avastha of Ananda. So Shanti, the word peace means it's a peace that has no end to it. And this peace does not depend upon anything else. So because this peace is a way that can only be experienced when someone knows, someone experiences, and someone becomes still in their Sat Chit Ananda Sarup. And no amount of whatsoever any other way is equivalent to this peace. So because the Sikh has done abhyas, nishkam abhyas, and he has done kamai of Guru's bachan, he has understood his Atam Sarup. And the result of that is peace, because the Sat Chit Anand is peace at the itself. Lan pricha ko kahe, gur karuna ras bain. So to understand that how, whether his Sikh has actually understood, or is he just saying it in the way of expressing verbally to the Guru. Because oftentimes we say that we have understood, but in reality, our experience of life is not that. We haven't understood, we haven't experienced Brahm. So Guru does bachan with Sikh to see whether the Sikh has actually understood. Pricha nij vigyan ki let khand vyahar. So to see that whether the Sikh has actually understood, has experienced that what is this Brahm that he was studying about? What is this Brahma Gyan that the Guru was giving him? What Guru does is he pass on some contradictory statements. Example, like to say that there are Vishay Vikar, there is Maya. Because to a Brahmagyani, there is no Maya. So the Khandan means to pass some contradictory statements, just to see that whether there is still any halchal, any sort of, is the Sikh's mind still wavering, or has he actually understood who he is? Because if the Sikh has got the Puran Brahm Gyan, if he has understood his Sarup, he would not waver. No matter how much amount of Vishay Vikar, any type of object, any type of interest that comes, appears in front of him, the Sikh would not waver now. So, स्थित आत्मवान की उपदेश निर्धार स्व ज्ञान. So what happens is, when a Vidya Guru sees the avastha of the Sikh, only they reveal so much to the to the Sikh, to the Vidyarthi, based on what the Guru, what the Vidya Guru knows, that what is the state of the Sikh. So the Guru, the Vidya Guru knows the inside out of their Vidyarthi. So in olden school, there used to be Gurukul where Vidyarthi would stay with the Vidya Guru to attain Brahm Vidya. And it was much easier for the Guru to have that connection with the Vidyarthi to see, and they would test the Vidyarthi as well in so many different ways. But in today's age, it's not possible. But at the same time, if even if there is distance, the Vidya Guru still knows the status of the student. So sometimes the Guru will say things, sometimes Vidya Guru will do things just to test the student as well. And if the student asks the Guru the question based on what the avastha of the Sikh is, what the avastha of the student is, the Vidya Guru only shares so much because he knows the Vidyarthi is not able to understand the next state of that. So here Guru does the same. Shri Guru Vach Dohra Janyo Janyo Binasi Ajar. So Sikh, you have known that state, that Sarup Sat Chit Anand, that pure consciousness, what you are, you have understood that. You have actually experienced it. You know that there is no duality in it. And it is endless. There is no end to it as well. So that Sarup where no amount of fire can reach as well. That Sarup which Guru Tantan Guru Arjan Dev Ji was in when he was being tortured as well. So that is the Sarup you have understood as well. This Sarup that does not age. And there is no end to this. It's abinasi. It cannot be destroyed. So you have understood, you have known this Sarup. Not even understood, you have actually known it, because there is a difference between understanding and the actual experience of it. So that's why it's actually not possible for you to get entangled into any of the Maya, any of the attachments of the world. You will know that you're that Shuddha Sarupa, that pure consciousness, this awareness within you, you will stay still in that. And no matter whatever passes through you, there is no chance that you will get entangled in that. So, Guru is saying, listen to my words carefully, that if you have experienced this really well, if you have fully experienced this, there is no way on earth that you will get entangled in any of the padarth, any of the things happening in this world. So the sansar, so sansar means sansa. What it means is the doubt. And where does the doubt exist? It exists in the mind. There is no doubt actually outwardly in the world. The doubt is only at the level of intellect. But because with Guru Kirpa, the Guru has removed the doubt of the mind within the Sikh's mind, there is no sansa left, no duality, no doubt, no param left now. जो कहे करे कहाँ बिखे पयो ज्ञान उदोत जेकर कहना करे. Yeah, so if you say that what the Vishay Vikar, these different objects, these different subjects, these Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Ahankar cannot reach me anymore. So this is because there is a gyan in the hirde. There is Atam. I have understood the Atam Sarup. If you say that you have understood and you have these Vishay Vikar can't reach you, then I understand that I know what you're talking about here. So Bikhe Sang Mat Pang Hoya Gyan Siddhalta Hot. What happens when we get entangled in different the Vishay Vikar, Kam, Krodh, Moh, Ahankar, when the chit, when our intellect is constantly doing chintan of all these worldly things, what happens? It affects our buddhi. Our intellect becomes weak. So what Brahm Gyan does it sharpens the buddhi in a way that the buddhi becomes awakened, right? The buddhi becomes awakened to the reality of Akal Purak, how the khel is going on, who is playing, and what's exactly happening. So Maharaj says, but when there is vikar going on in the mind, then the intellect becomes really weak. So Atma Sud Lahyo Nahi, Udyo na Nirmal Gyan. As long as you have not known your Sarup. See, again, over and again, Maharaj talks about Janya Nahi, as in that you have not experienced it, you have not known it. You might have read so much about it, you read so many things, you read different books, you read different granths, you talk to different people, you speak to different types of Mahapurush day and day to just practice the same thing. But as long as you have not very first hand known what they are talking about, until then you cannot have the aprok gyan, that practical wisdom within yourself. And once you get that practical wisdom, it does not matter if you have the theoretical wisdom. Those who know who they are, they don't have to know the theory. Yes, unless they have to teach to others. But that is much beyond over the theoretical wisdom. So, as long as you have not known your true Sarup, who you are, until and unless then you won't actually be able to experience it. You might read a lot about it, but it's not possible without having to experience it yourself first of all. Maleen bikhe vivihar rat. Karo vihara. Yeah. So the as long as so when there is the mind of so a jeev who, as we have studied, the jeev is someone who has not understood or known his sarup, Sat Chitananda Sarup. The mind is always chasing one thing after another. The mind is entangled in duality. The mind is having kam, krodh, lobh, moh, ahankar in it. In that attractions of the world, in the attraction of these vikar, the jeev remains in, in this agyanta. In this agyanta of, because the jeev remains unaware about his sarup. So, jo puran atam lahyo, to kinchat vivhar. So, hey Sikh, if you say that I have known my Atam Sarup, and in that Atam Sarup, no vikar can become attack you in that Atam Sarup. So in that way, you can only say this if you have actually practiced the Gyan, if you have actually experienced it yourself. If you have not practiced it yourself, if you have not experienced it yourself, then it's like you're fooling yourself in a way, because you don't know what you're talking about. But when you have actually experienced it, then no amount of vikar will be able to reach you. Sohan Jan, Oho Anand Sarup. So those Mahatma Jan, those who have understood, known their Atam Akal Purakh Sarup, they don't become sad, dukhi like other people in the world. They are completely in absolute stillness within themselves. So they don't get affected by like how in worldly we see that people go through stress, worrying about families, work, all these different stresses of the world. But these Mahatma Jan who have actually understood, have experienced their sarup, they don't become dukhi like other people in that way. It's not possible for them to become dukhi. So, Dohra, ਵਿਸ਼ਿਆਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੋ ਨਿਰਲੇਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਮੁਕਤੀ ਦਾ ਸਾਧਨ. So here Maharaj is explaining what is mukti exactly. So now we talk about these terminologies, Sat Chit Ananda Sarup, that's never changing, this pure consciousness, which is called as bliss, right? So this consciousness that's present that is the Shuddha Sarup, the moment that there is any activity happening in the mind, and because when we don't know who we are, we subconsciously, with knowing or unknowingly, get attached to that activity that's happening in the mind. And what's happening is, in that attachment, it's creating a bandhan. The moment you become detached from any activity happening within the body, within the mind, within the world around you, you have become mukt. Now, it's not that you have actually become mukt, it's just you have realized that you were already mukt. Because even if you're entangled in the worldly things, even if you don't have virag in you, you, as that pure consciousness, it's already mukt. So in a way, mukti or the bandhan is a param too, because when you know, you can within a split second become mukt. Within a split second, you can become in bandhan. So, in this way, Mara says that the moment you get attached yourself to any of the Vishya Vikar, any of the subject that's happening in the consciousness, any of the activities of the mind, you got entangled. But the moment you realize and you take that step back, and that's how you practice that who you are really, you have become free. Yehe sab granthan ko mato. So this is the siddhant of almost all the granths that you will come across, that once you have understood, fully experienced who you are, then you do what your mind accepts. So in the sahaj avastha, whatever is happening in that very moment, you do that. And that's why in Maharaj gave Shastra as well to Khalsa, not to just fight with other people because of Krodh, but because in that moment, whatever is required, it happens. Because the Khalsa knows their real Sarup, so they don't act out of anger, they don't act out of greed, they don't act because of some kind of thing that they're gonna get out of this world. They act just because they know that is the right thing to do in that very moment. So, until and unless someone knows their real Sarup, then they have to definitely take the mat of the Guru. But when they have actually applied Gurmat, then they practice this, which is called to accept the mind, to give the mind what the mind needs, to practice that stillness of the mind. Kirpa karta sikh parkani. Now, this is explained here, the kirpa that the guru does on his sikh. If you go to someone who's a business man who is really at the top of the ladder in their career, they have achieved everything, or a mentor, some kind of, if you go for help, they might give you some kind of advice, they might give you some sort of strategies to do better, to make more money, to do financially better, all these different strategies. But at the end of the day, the truth is it's not going to give the peace of the mind. There is no way, because otherwise these grunts wouldn't be here. They could have just said, go to this mentor, go to this person, chase these things one after another so you can have the santok, the contentment of the mind. Those who wrote these grunts, they knew that there is something within you which is capable of giving you this santok, this treasure, this precious gem that cannot be bought anywhere. There is actually no buyer or seller of this. So the guru does give this kind of gyan to the Sikh, that the guru makes Sikh into Parmeshwar Roop only. And this is can never be bought from anyone else. Now it is the abhyas of the Sikh that helps the Sikh in doing that, because this wisdom is everywhere, but not everyone is actually practicing about it. So this is how the kirpa of the guru, that he gives everything to the Sikh. He makes the Sikh into the Parmeshwar Roop only. ਸਵੈ ਸਰੂਪ ਦੇ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤੀ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਦਾ ਸਥਿਤੀ ਨੂੰ, yeah, so that the Sikh can understand his real sarup, the Guru gives different analogies over and over again, through different types of examples. The Guru explains to the Sikh, because so that the agyanta within the mind of the Sikh can be removed. जैसे पुजे अन्न में उद पवता पई छीन. Now, with the, as you would have seen that these roasted, there is like seeds. So once you roast something, the power that is capable of giving life from that seed, that gets destroyed in that process of heating up the seeds. So in that, just like how those roasted seed cannot grow further, they that power gets destroyed. Same way, the man, the buddhi of a Brahmagyani becomes completely destroyed towards the sansar. What it means is, to the sansar, the Brahmagyani is still the body, the Brahmagyani is still doing the things that needs to be done. But within Brahmagyani, there is absolute no movement happening. They reach a thoughtless state and they create the thought as whatever is required in that moment. So they become sun. So a word is often used to describe the sun samadhi. This is a state where there is no movement happening, the stillness of the Parmeshwar Akal Roop, where there is pure awareness, and whatever, even if there is some kind of thoughts going on, the Shuddha Sarup of Brahmagyan, the Brahmagyani, they are not getting moved with it. So Mara says that that's how Guru explains with analogies, that just like how the roasted seeds can't grow further, the intellect of a Brahmagyani does not get it doesn't get affected by the world, no matter whatever is happening. Just in a way, sometimes there is it's a story that there was this some Mahatma sitting in a train, and another person like me came next to him, and the Mahatma was wearing this expensive watch, some gold watch and all that. And the person said, well, you look like a sant, but you're wearing all these expensive, this watch, this gold chain and all that. So what is the difference between you and me? You're still entangled with all these worldly things. So the Mahatma doesn't say anything. He just smiles. And then within few minutes, the train stops at a station, and the Mahatma takes out his watch, everything, and leaves in the station. And then he says, "Let's go have some cup of tea." So they both get off there. And after they finish having the tea, the train starts moving. And this person who obviously left his belongings in the train as well, he starts panicking that we both left our expensive stuff in there. What are we gonna do about it? Aren't you worried that we are losing the train? We gotta catch it. And the Mahatma just laughs and says, "No, you know what? Actually, I changed my mind. I'm gonna go to the other direction." So this is the avastha of someone who has known their saru. To them, these material things does not mean anything whatsoever. They might still wear them because they want to, but if they lose them, it's like Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj throwing his another golden kada when he lost one kada in the river, and his Mataji said, "Where did you drop it?" In anger, she said, "Where did you drop it, Gobind? You know how expensive it is." So in a way, they just do this play of divine. So Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj takes out the other kada and throws in the river, saying, "Oh, you know what? It's actually in there." So that is the avastha of them. They know that it means nothing. So Anath Sugyani Kot Ko Nisre Nij Mat Ek Karde Han Gyan. Yeah. So Guru says, Anath Kaviji says that Even if there are millions of Brahmagyani sitting in one place, let's say there is a gathering of 1 million Brahmagyani, their mat, their intellect, their siddhant will be one only. It's not like there are a million people sitting and they all have different opinions, different intellect. That's what the Brahma Gyan is. It's not different. It doesn't matter if someone becomes Brahma Gyani by reading Quran, by reading Bible, by reading any Granth, they will reach the same avastha as those reading Gurbani. So there is no difference in that, that they start arguing about it, because the Gurmat is one only. They might never know the word Gurmat, but it's the same Siddhant only. It's the same opinion, same experience. There is no difference, even if there are millions of them sitting in one place. And they know this. That's why when two Brahmagyanis sit with each other, chances are they don't even talk much, because they're both in the thoughtless state most of the time. So, ek agyani ke hiye bartat mate anek. But if a person who doesn't have the gyan yet, he is still getting entangled with so many thoughts, one after another. The thoughts of the world, the thoughts of the me, the thoughts of the you. His mind is still entangled all this. But someone who has the gyan, their mind is still like without, as if there is no even movement of air going on. दोहरा सेवा बहुत प्रकार पुन अंग त्रास करे कोए ज्ञानी आपन पोल है त्रिपत कुपत नह होए. Now, very beautifully here, they explain. Now, this is a state which is very hard to practice at the same time and can only be practiced when someone has actually understood who they are. And oftentimes, this is a state where if a sevak, if a vidyarthi, anyone does praise of the Guru, praise of the Brahmagyani, praise of the Mahatma, even if the sevak serve them, they serve them with good food, good clothing, they might serve him in different ways. Still, that Brahmagyani will never give a boon to that person. He won't say that, I hope get this, or give any kind of ashirvad, right? And even if someone is torturing them, attacking them by shastra, just like how when Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj got tortured in so many different ways by the emperor, in that moment too, Guru Arjan Dev Ji did not show any anger. He did not have any anger that was present in him. And neither did he say that I'm gonna give you this kind of, sharap. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna be angry at you. So in this way, this is the avastha of the Brahmagyani, that even someone is doing their seva, they would never say, give any boon, nor they will get angry at someone, even if someone is attacking them. Verbally, physically, no matter what, they won't be. It wouldn't matter to the Brahmagyani. Now, it's a very good example for us to sit within ourselves and to actually see, have we actually experienced that yet? And if we haven't, then it means we need to do more abhyas. Or have we actually reached that state that when people around us, because they do, when the people around us praise you, they do favorism, they pick one person over another, what is happening within you? Am I getting moved by it? Or am I actually just still? And what happens when people talk nicely to you? What happens? They treat you better than others. And am I doing the same with others? So, in the same way, it's a very good exercise for us to practice within us and see what's happening. If there is still these things, some halchal, some movement is happening, this discomfort is happening within us, it means there is more, we need to do more abhyas. So this is the avastha of a brahmgyani. No matter what's happening outwardly, within them they are nirlep. Vikyanand Nand Sansar hai, Pajanand Hardas. So the constant chase of the next thing, the material world, or that I gotta do this, I should be doing this, worrying about this next thing, or these endless desires. Mara says that these are so temporary. These are actually causing more. There is no end to it because you you're gonna probably live for 100 years in this human body, and then even at the last stage, when the end for the body will come, the desires won't be able you won't be able to end the desires in the last moment. So that desire is going to become cause of the next birth, and then in that way you're again falling in that trap. And when someone does kirtan of Paramatma, what happens if someone is doing kirtan? Now, you might have experienced that when you're in Sadh Sangat, when you're listening to Brahm Vidya, when you're doing kirtan, your mind becomes still. Now, there is still that stillness is still happening, but it doesn't last for so long. Oftentimes, people will say that when I'm in the Sadh Sangat, I feel this bliss. It was so beautiful. But the moment I go home, the moment I disconnect from that, I start feeling the same way how I was feeling before. That bliss is no longer there. Now, yes, it is a good thing. It's definitely a great thing to go to Sangat to do kirtan, but even that is temporary because you can't continuously sit in that Sadh Sangat forever. You have to do other things in the world. You have to talk to people. You still have to do your work. So, Mara says, Brahmanand Jivan Mukta Pai Vasana Nasa. And that person whose ichha, all the desires have been completely eradicated. They don't even think about that there is some kind of desire happening. They are so still in their Atam Sarup that the desire does not even come. If anything good happens in their life, they know that it was just the prarabdha karma, the something they did in the past that is just coming forward in front of them, and they just accept it. If something bad comes, they know it was just something that has the cause and the effect has come in front of them, and they just accept it. So they don't create a new ichha because they have in within themselves, they have experienced something. They don't need to experience anything else. They don't even experience, they don't want to experience anything even in the path of this spirituality about the next experience. They know that they reach a desireless state. So in that way, all the desires become nas, become destroyed, and in that avastha they remain as in that Brahma Gyan of Anand, which is called Maharaj in Anand Sahib say, Anand Paya Meri Mai. This is the Anand Maharaj was talking about that I'm experiencing something that I can't explain. That that doesn't have desire in it. I don't know how to explain it. There are so many grunts being written about it, but I honestly can't experience what this is and where is this coming from. I know within myself what I'm talking about, but I can't express it in words. So, Maharaj Kripa, we will take a pause here. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.